Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you are looking for a spiritual book that you can apply in your day-to-day life, then there is the book titled Think Like a Monk, Train Your Mind for Peace and Purpose Every Day. It is a book written by Jay Shetty. He is an author, former monk, and the Purpose coach. He is the host of the popular podcast titled On Purpose. In 2019, he has been awarded with the Outstanding Achievement Online Award at the Asian Award. This book will help you find your life purpose, how to overcome negativity, how to use your fear, why you are not your fear, and the many important life-changing lessons. In this video, we will discuss about the life-changing lesson that this otherworldly book has to offer. So hang around and watch the video till the end. Before we go on any further, please like, share and comment on the video. It is your like, share and the comment that gives me the motivation to produce more of such video. If you haven't subscribed the channel, please click this subscribe button. And please don't forget to hit the bell icon so that you don't miss any of my new videos. Ray Dalio, founder of Bridgewater Associates, has labeled the book Think Like a Monk as, quote, combining ancient wisdom with the practicalities of today. Think Like a Monk provides essential guidance for traveling a balanced path to success, unquote. Not only this, the book has been the best-selling book in the Wall Street Journal, the New York Times, and the Amazon. It is the marvelous guide on how to lead a happy, fulfilled, and successful life. Before we summarize and learn the wisdom from the book, let us see the unique characteristic of this book. It is the first and the only book written by Jay Shetty. Although this is his past book, he has produced a gem of a spiritual, self-help, motivational and inspirational book. The erudition proclaimed in this book are practical and simple. It can be applied in our daily affairs to improve our life. Not only this, we will be more at peace with ourselves and achieve more from our life, which is wonderful. Another characteristic of this book is that there are pragmatic steps to solve our day-to-day problem given in its chapters. The steps are displayed as a highlighted paragraph. It adds value to this wonderful work of art by offering simple solutions to our everyday trouble. You can apply it easily in your life, and this will solve most of your problems and troubles of our life. The book Think Like a Monk has 3 parts. The parts are specified as Part 1, Let Go, Part 2, Grow, Part 3, Give. Each part is built upon the previous one. The first part, that is Let Go, deals with everyday issue of our life which we need to let go. The more we can let go of these issues, the happier our life will be. The second part deliberate with the themes which we need to grow or increase both in quality or quantity. The theme that we need to develop are purpose, routine, mind, and the ego. Each of these subjects is very important for us to grow as a human being. The last part, that is give, concerned with the affairs that we need to share with other person. The subject like gratitude, relationship, and the service have been examined here. Each of this part is very necessary for our growth as a human being. The book has been written with lots of examples and the stories from author's life. There were the story of the shock of his parents when he declared that he would be a monk, his first impression of Gauranga Das, his life as a monk, and the many other examples and stories. Further, ancient stories were utilized to elucidate on the point that were being made by the author. For example, the story of Muxdeer written by the ancient poet Kabir to point out that Happiness and the fulfillment comes only from mastering the mind and connecting with the soul, not from object and the attainment. The wisdom of this book has been based on Hindu philosophy. Thus, there were many slokas of Bhagavad Gita, Rig Veda, and the other. These wisdom are practical, which can be used to improve our life. This quote aid to the readability of this book. Each of this part has a chapter titled Meditation. In this part, we need to do meditation on the topic that we have read and to unlearn the thing that had added complicacy to our life. We need to meditate to increase the happiness. This chapter boosts the significance of this book. We will try to give you a brief summary of this wonderful wisdom-filled book, and please try to soak up and utilize the wisdom that had been distributed freely in this book. The book opens with the introduction, where it is declared that a lay person who is consciously alive in the now is a monk. It means that a person who is consciously living in the present is the happiest man on this world. In the introduction, the difference between the monk mind and the monkey mind have been described. Monkey mind goes in the passenger seat. It doesn't take any initiative, while the monk mind lives intentionally and consciously. Monkey mind complains, compares, and criticizes, while the monk mind are compassionate, caring, and collaborative. Monkey mind is demanding and entitled. He thinks that the world owes him a living, while the monk mind are enthusiastic, determined, and patient. Monkey mind changes on a whim. Monk mind commit to a vision, mission, or goals. Monkey mind look for pleasure, while monk mind look for meaning. Thinking like a monk is a way of rebellion, detachment, rediscovery, purpose, focus, discipline, and service. The goal of monk thinking is a life free of ego, envy, lust, anxiety, bitterness, baggage. In the modern world of today, we are all consumed with desire, apprehension, and the baggage. So it is said that adopting the monk mindset isn't only possible but also a necessity in the modern materialistic world. The first part of this book is titled as Let Go, and the first chapter is titled Identity. We need to let go of the false identity. It is postulated that our identity is wrapped up in what others think of us, or more accurately, what we think others think of us. Thus, we want to appear as attractive, or we try to appear as the one whom we are not, just to please the society. In the process, we try to acquire the unnecessary things like expensive watches, fancy dress, other high price and good-looking accessories. We forget our real identity in the modus operandi. The author said that when you try to live your most authentic life, some of your relationships will be put in jeopardy. Losing them is a risk worth bearing. Finding a way to keep them in your life is a challenge worth taking on. When you hear your calling in your life, most of your friends, family, and relatives will be afraid of the changes taking place inside of you. They will start to desert you and leave you in the moment. During this time of crisis, your value make it easier for you to surround yourself with the right people, make tough choices, use your time more wisely, and focus your attention on where it matters. The foundation of virtually all monastic tradition is removing distractions that prevent us from focusing on what matters most. That is, finding meaning in life by mastering physical and the mental desire. We try to live up to what others think of us, even at the expense of our value. When we tune out the opinion, expectation, and the obligation of our world around us, we begin to hear ourselves. Then our happy life will start to happen. Further, doing a self-audit tells you the value that have crept into your life by default. How to do self-audit. You need to sit silently and still and start to contemplate on your life. When you contemplate on your life, all the value which are against your life purpose will be identified. The next step is to decide what your values are and whether your choices are in alignment with them. Higher value propel and elevate us toward happiness, fulfillment, and meaning. According to Bhagavad Gita, the higher values and the quality are fearlessness, purity of mind, gratitude, service, charity, acceptance, performing sacrifice, deep study, austerity, straightforwardness, non-violence, truthfulness, absence of anger, renunciation, perspective, restraint from fault-finding, compassion toward all living beings, satisfaction, gentleness, kindness, integrity, determination. The 6 lower values are greed, lust, ego, illusion, and envy. The downside of the lower value is that they so readily take us over when we give them the space to do so. Letting go is a big part of the rhythm of nature as is rebirth. We should let go of the emotion who fill up our life. How to take value-driven decisions have been described in this book. If you want to know it, then read this book. The second thing that we must let go of our life is negativity. So it is the second chapter of this book. This chapter launches with the quote by Daisaku Ikeda. Quote, "It is impossible to build one's own happiness on the unhappiness of others." Unquote. Further, Buddha advised, quote, "Do not give attention to what others do or fail to do. Give it to what you do or fail to do." Unquote. And to very critical of the thing that other people don't perform or perform below our expectation. But we tend to rationalize our fault. If we do this, then it will increase the negativity in ourselves. Negativity is everywhere and the bad things do happen. We need to accept this fact. The book specifies 7 types of negative people. They are: number 1, complainer, one who complains endlessly without looking for solution. Number 2, canceller, one who takes a compliment, spin it. Number 3, casualty, one who thinks the world is against them and blame their problems on others. Number 4, critics, one who judges others for either having an opinion or not having one. Number 5, commander, one who realizes their own limit but pressure others to succeed. Number 6, competitor, one who compares themselves to others, controlling and manipulating to make themselves or their choices look better. Number 7, controller, one who monitors and tries to direct how others spend time and what choices they make. These are the 7 types of negative people. Try to identify yourself whether you belong to any of these types. If you are one of them, then try to change yourself. The faster, the better. There are 3 core emotional needs of a human being. They are peace, love, and understanding. How to fight negative has been given in this book. There is the 25/75 rule. This rule states that for 1 negative people you encounter, seek 3 positive people in your life. That is the 25/75 rules for you. Further, the Dalai Lama has advised us, quote, "If you can, help others. If you cannot do that, at least do not harm them." Unquote. This is a sagacious advice. How wonderful our world will be if we help each other, and if we don't harm others, this world will be a peaceful place. Real freedom is letting go of the thing not wanted, the unchecked desire that lead us to unwanted end, like gossiping. When we limit our negative speech, we may find that we have lot less to say. This is a very powerful line that you can find in this book. This chapter also talks about anger. Anger is a great flaming ball of negative emotion, and when we cannot let it go, the anger takes a life of its own. We feel anger against other people, and is there a way to control them? Yes, there is a way. Sama is a Sanskrit word for forgiveness. It means you bring patience and forbearance to your dealing with others. There are 4 types of forgiveness. Number 1, zero forgiveness. It means you are not going to forgive that person no matter what. This is a very dangerous situation. It will elongate the enmity between the person. Number 2, conditional forgiveness. If the other people apologize you will forgive him. This is a transactional forgiveness, come from the mode of impulse. Number 3, transformational forgiveness. This is forgiveness in the mode of goodness. We find the strength and the calmness to forgive without expecting an apology or anything in return. Number 4, unconditional forgiveness. This is the highest level of forgiveness. This is the level of forgiveness that a parent has for their child. When we make forgiveness a regular part of our spiritual practice, we start to notice all of our relationships blossoming. Further, we need to forgive ourselves for the thing that we feel ashamed or guilty for what we have done in the past. We should forgive ourselves by reminding that we did the best we could then, but we can do better. Practice forgiving ourselves by practicing the following. I forgive myself for. List the reason you feel angry at or disappointed in yourself. If you practice this, then you will start to forgive yourself. The third thing we need to let go is fear. Buddha quote, "Fear does not prevent death, it prevents life." Unquote. The truth is that we will never live entirely without fear and anxiety. So we must learn to manage our fear and the panic. When you deal with fear and the hardship, you will realize that you are capable of dealing with fear and the hardship. With increased objectivity, you will become better able to differentiate between what is actually worth being afraid of and what's not. This will give you an added confidence in your ability. If we learn how to recognize what fear can teach us about ourselves and what we value, then we can use it as a tool to obtain greater meaning, purpose, and the fulfillment in our lives. We should not let go of the opportunity that our fear presented to us. Breathing steadily while we acknowledge our fear helps us calm our mental and the physical response in its presence. Walk towards your fear. Become familiar with your fear. In this way, we bring ourselves into full presence with fear. This chapter points out the root cause of fear. How would others think of me? The cause of fear, attachment. The cure for fear, detachment. A monk mind practices detachment. We realize that everything from our house to our family is borrowed. So why afraid of losing it? Detachment is the ultimate practice in minimizing fear. Clinging to temporary things gives them power over us, and they become the source of pain and the fear. But when we accept the temporary natures of everything in our life, we can feel gratitude for the good fortune of getting to borrow them for a time. When you are angry, try saying, "I feel angry," not "I am angry." When you are sad, try saying, "I feel sad," not "I am sad." The more we practice looking in the rear view mirror of the time we had suffered and finding gratitude for the hard time we had experienced, the more we start to change our programming. The gap between suffering and the gratitude gets smaller and smaller, and the intensity of our fear in the moment of hardship begins to diminish. The fourth thing we need to let go is intention. This chapter begins with a sloka from Rig Veda, which translates as, quote, When there is harmony between the mind, heart, and the resolution, then nothing is impossible, unquote. It means that when you love what you are doing and are trying to achieve with your and the soul, you can achieve anything in life. You want an outcome. To reach that outcome, you need to question why you want to do what was necessary to reach that outcome. You need to ask yourself, are you ready to go through the process before you achieve the result? If the answer is yes, then you may go ahead and chase the dream. The author listed 4 motivations according to Hindu philosopher Bhakti Vinod Thakura for all of us to work. The 4 motivations are: number 1, fear. This is driven by fear of sickness, poverty. Number 2, desire of wealth, seeking personal gratification. Number 3, duty, motivated by gratitude, responsibility, and the desire to do the right thing. Number 4, love, compelled by care for others and the urge to help them. In the Atharva Veda, quote, money and the mansion are not the only wealth. Hold the wealth of spirit. Character is wealth. Good conduct is wealth. And the spiritual wisdom is wealth. Unquote. Further, when we live intentionally with a clear sense of why, what we do matter, life has meaning and bring fulfillment. We focus on the satisfaction that comes from living a meaningful life. The value we see in our action will lead to a sense of meaning. The focus is on the process, not the outcome. If you are in love with the day-to-day process, then you do it with depth, authenticity, and a desire to make an impact. Then fear will have no or little effect on your intention to work. Now, we will move into the next part of the book, Grow. We need to grow our purpose. The book says that Dharma is a combination of Varna and Seva. Varna is patience and skill, while Seva is understanding the world need and selflessly serving others. Leading in your Dharma is a certain route to fulfillment. Everyone has a psychological nature which determines where they flourish and thrive. Dharma is using this natural inclination, the things you are good at, your tribe mode to serve others. Pay attention, cultivate self-awareness, feed your strength, and you will find your way. Play hardest in your area of strength, and you will achieve depth, meaning, and satisfaction in your life. The magic formula for Dharma is patience, expertise, and the usefulness. The Varna aren't determined by birth. They are meant to help us understand our nature, our true nature, and the inclination. The 4 Varna, according to Jay Shetty, are: number 1, the guide; number 2, the leader; number 3, the creator; number 4, maker. This is how Varna should be understood. The next thing to grow is routine. According to author, one of the routines that we need to instill in our life is to rise early. Once you have created space in the morning, it is yours alone. Nobody else controls how you use it. This free time is one of the greatest gifts we can give ourselves. Further, the author has suggested that we should try to spot something new every day on our familiar walk. This is a reminder to keep our focus on that walk, to see the freshness in his routine, to be aware. A lot of time, creativity comes from structure. When you have those parameters and structure, then within that you can be creative. If you don't have structure, you are just aimlessly doing stuff. There is a subsection in the chapter which is titled as Chew Your Drink and Drink Your Food. It has a very important lesson. When you drink your food, grind the solid food particle into liquid. It means that you need to chew your food so much that the solid part are turned into liquid. When you chew your drink, instead of gulping down, take each sip as if it is a morsel to be savored. Here you need to be present in the moment. The book lays down that time has memory. Doing something at the same time every day helps us remember to do it, commit to it, and do it with increasing skill and facility. When we do something at the same time every day, the time keeps memory for us to hold the practice. Change happens with small steps and the big priority. Pick one thing or habit to change. Make it your number one priority and see it through before you move on to the next. Monks try to do everything immersively. If something is important, it deserves to be experienced deeply, and everything is important. The next thing to grow is mind. Buddha has quoted, quote, "As irrigation lead water where they want, as archer make their arrow straight, as carpenter carve wood, the wise shape their mind," unquote. True growth requires understanding the mind. If we can control the mind, then most of our troubles will be over. The sacred text of the Hindu, the Bhagavad Gita, said that, quote, "For him who has conquered the mind is the best of friends. But for one who has failed to do so, his very mind will be the greatest enemy," unquote. So how do we control our mind? We need to understand that we are not our mind. Our thoughts are like clouds passing by. The self, like the sun, is always there. We are not our mind. We should understand this truth. Our mind is both the parents and the child. The monkey mind is a child, while the monk mind is an adult. A child cries when it doesn't get what it wants and struggles to appreciate real value. The child mind enables us to be spontaneous, creative, and dynamic, but when it rules us, it can be our downfall. The adult mind reminds us to pause and assess the bigger picture, taking time to weigh the default reaction, decide if it's appropriate, and propose other options. If well trained, it has self-control, reasoning power, and is a debating champ. But it can use the strength that we give it. Thus, we should try to be adult in matter related to our mind. According to Jay, there are three routes to happiness. They are learning, progressing, and achieving. Whenever we are growing, we feel happy and free of material yearning. We should build a relationship with the pessimistic child voice. As you build and understand your relationship with the child mind, then your adult voice will get stronger as you read, research, apply, and taste. Further, many of the frustration that we endure can be seen as a blessing because they urge us to grow and develop. Whenever you are facing a problem, ask yourself, what is missing from this moment? What is unpleasant from today? What would I like to change? When you answer this question, you will be in a better position to perceive your problem in a positive way. This chapter has a powerful subsection titled Nothing's on You. It is about detachment. What is detachment? Does it mean owning nothing? Or how should we practice detachment? The Bhagavad Gita defines detachment as doing the right thing for its own sake because it needs to be done without worrying about success or failure. It means escaping the whole of the senses. It means doing your work with no expectation of the result of your work. Ali has quoted, "Detachment is not that you own nothing, but that nothing should own you." This is how we should practice detachment. If you cultivate compassion, joy, inner freedom, then you can build up a kind of resilience and you can face life with confidence. The next thing to grow is ego. When we are humble, we are open to learning because we understand how much we don't know. There is a distinction between ego and the false ego. The ego is our very essence, the consciousness that makes us aware and awake to reality. The false ego is the identity crafted to preserve our sense of being the most significant, the most important, and the one who knows everything. We present this inflated self to others. We do everything we can to protect it, the self we want others to perceive. This is false ego. It will lead to frustration, anxiety, and hatred. However, when you are the ego, you are satisfied with yourself. If you are satisfied with who you are, you don't need to prove your worth to anyone else. You are who you are when no one is watching. The arrogant or the false ego desire respect, whereas the humble worker inspire respect. If we don't break our ego, life will break it for you. Instead of false ego, humility allows us to understand our weakness and want to improve. In the darkness of the ego, we think we are special, powerful, and significant. But when we look at ourselves in the context of the great universe, we see that we only play a small part. In order to remain humble or grounded, we should remember two things: the bad we have done to others and the good others have done to us. This will keep us grounded. When we remember the bad we have done to others, we will be humbled by our mistake. When we remember the good that others have done for us, we will feel thankful to them, happy and blessed. This is how we can practice humility in our day-to-day life. The chapter further lays down that what belongs to you today belongs to someone yesterday and will be someone else tomorrow. So nothing is permanent, everything is temporary. So why should we feel proud? When we feel grateful for what we have accomplished, we remember not to let it go to our head. Failing means that you are trying, and that was more important than immediate result. The authors give the distinction between ego and the self-esteem. Ego wants everyone to like you. High self-esteem is just fine if they don't. Ego thinks it knows everything. Self-esteem thinks it can learn from anyone. Ego wants to prove itself. Self-esteem wants to express itself. Ego pretends to be strong. Self-esteem is okay being vulnerable. Real greatness lies in remember, no matter what we achieve, we can aspire to be greater, aiming higher and higher beyond ourselves to our community, our country, our planet, and realizing the ultimate goal is unattainable is what keeps us humble. Overcoming our ego is a practice, not an accomplishment. Real greatness is when you use your own achievement to teach others and they learn how to teach others, and the greatness that you have accomplished expand exponentially. The most powerful, admirable, captivating quality in any human is seen when they have achieved great things but still remain humble. We have come to the third part of the book titled Gift, and this chapter is gratitude. Pema Chodron, the American nun, has quoted, quote, "Appreciate everything, even the ordinary, especially the ordinary. If we start to appreciate everything, then your life will be heaven." Gratitude has been defined by Benedict Monk brother David Steinross as feeling of appreciation that comes when you recognize that is valuable to you, which has nothing to do with its monetary worth. It has been linked to better mental health, self-awareness, better relationship, and a sense of fulfillment. When you are present in gratitude, you can't be anywhere else. Once you start seeing things to be grateful for, your brain starts looking for more things to be grateful for. It's a virtuous circle. Those people who feel grateful for the things that have happened to him are among the happiest people on earth. The author wants us to be grateful in all times and circumstances. Even if your life isn't perfect, build your gratitude like a muscle. If you train it now, it will always strengthen over time. The more gratitude you practice, the more content your life will be. Don't judge the moment. When you judge the moment, you will label it as bad or good. As soon as you label something as bad, your mind starts to believe it. Instead, be grateful for setback. Allow the journey of life to progress at its own pace and its roundabout way. The universe may have other plans in store for you. Who knows the plan of the universe way better than the one that you had conceived? When something doesn't go your way, say to yourself, there is more for me out there. The most basic way to show gratitude is to say thank you. So say thank you more often. When we see the struggle of others in the clear light of day, when we use our talent to improve their world even a little bit, we feel a surge of gratitude. Gratitude is the mother of all quality. With that note, let me wind up this video. Do tell me how do you like the video. Thank you everyone for watching this video till the end.